the most interesting, and the toughest assignment that I have every year. I keep telling all these young editors at Cricbuzz, why don't we do it together as a team? Why don't you find someone else? And they say, no, you. And so here I am, all in armor. You can point your arrows at me, send some gunshots my way. This is my team of the tournament. But as usual, just a couple of disclaimers. 4 overseas players only per team. That's how the IPL has been. I have picked players in the position in which they played for their franchise largely, because the easiest thing in the world is to pick the 6 players you like and say, look, T20, anybody can bat anywhere. That's not fair to players who bat in a certain position. So maybe 5, 6 interchangeable, maybe 3, 4, but really not too much than that. And that's why some places very difficult to fill and some places slightly less competition. You'll have to believe me on this. I have no idea how many players from each franchise are in there, because I know we all have these franchise loyalties and you go around and say, oh, only so many from here, one from here. I have not even looked. I do not know at this stage how many from CSK, how many from RCB, how many from DC, how many from MI. I've just gone and picked the team. And may I remind you once again, this is the team of the tournament based on performances this year. If there's been a fantastic player who didn't do as well, won't be. That doesn't mean he's not a great player. All right, the disclaimers are out of the way. Let's start. Who are my openers? Now I'll pause. That was the toughest one to pick. There are 6 openers, 6 fabulous openers in this year's tournament. How do you pick 2? I don't know. I'll just let it go for a while. I'll start with 3. There were 2 candidates at number 3 for me. One was Glenn Maxwell and the other was Cameron Green. And I looked at 2 things. I looked at the fact that in that position, Cameron Green scored more runs than Glenn Maxwell. And I wanted the 6th bowler to have done a little bit more bowling. Maxwell didn't bowl that much. I know Cam Green is still not a bona fide 4 overs bowler, but he could do that if you wanted. His economy rate around 9.5 was not the worst in the world. And at number 3, he just became better and better as the tournament wore along. So my number 3 is Cameron Green. Number 4, no contest, easiest to pick, phenomenal strike rate, just doing incredible sky things. We coined a new expression for him this year when he hit the big one back, the skyscraper. Suryakumar Yadav is my number 4. Now 5 and 6. My 5 and 6 have to have a finisher and a wicket keeper. And I looked at 2 things. Who was the best middle overs batter among all the keepers, and among the finishers, who just had that extra oomph about him, and could he be a left-hander given that I've got a few right-handers in my side. And so I went with Heinrich Klaasen as my keeper. His strike rate against spin was 191. That's a lot of what you get in the middle overs. And so I thought someone who could dominate the middle overs. You get big players in the power play, you get big players at the death, but it's the players who dominate the middle overs. If you've got Sky and Klaasen in the middle overs, I think I'm sorted. And then as a finisher, again, there were a few candidates, but I could not look beyond Rinku Singh. I mean, I looked at Nicholas Pooran as an alternative to Heinrich Klaasen. I looked at Tilak Varma. I think Tilak Varma is going to be a fabulous, fabulous player in the days gone by. But in that particular slot, at number 6, I thought very few were as effective as Rinku Singh. So Rinku Singh is my 6. So there's my middle order: Cameron Green, Suryakumar Yadav, Heinrich Klaasen, Rinku Singh. 7 was very, very difficult. Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel scored more runs. Ravindra Jadeja took more wickets in the middle overs. You could say, yes, one played in Chennai. Delhi went through a lot of trouble this time. I'm not sure they use Akshar very well. But I wanted someone who took wickets in the middle overs. And on that count, Jadeja did a little better than Akshar. I've got 6 fabulous batters. Akshar actually batted better than Jadeja, but we know what Jadeja can do. I really don't know about this one. So I just closed my eyes and I said, okay, Jadeja on this one, only because he took more wickets in those middle overs. So if you want to go Akshar, if you want to point out that, that's fine. Akshar or Jadeja, I just went with Jadeja. Now number 8, like number 4, easiest to pick, no discussion. The finest one of the finest T20 players ever, the finest T20 spinner ever, one of the finest outfielders, and comes in and hits 10 sixes in a match, comes in with 5 balls left ahead of so many other established finishers. You're not looking beyond Rashid Khan at number 8. Now 3 fast bowlers. I thought Mohammad Shami picked himself the best bowler in the power play. Now, when you construct a team like this, you want some bowlers who will bowl in the power play and some bowlers who will bowl at the death. I thought Shami was excellent. Trent Bolt was excellent. Siraj was excellent. So wherever you can have an Indian player over an overseas player, that's the one you choose. Because if you notice, I've already gone with Green, with Klaasen and Rashid. So I'm going with Shami. I thought he bowled in the power play absolutely magnificent. And you cannot look beyond Mohammad Siraj this year. His economy rate was completely different from everybody else who played for RCB this year. He just propped up the side in so many different ways, and he was just fantastic. So I went with Shami and Siraj as my two quicks, and that left my death bowler. There were a few. I thought Mohit Sharma was very, very good at the death. As the tournament progressed, he got a lot more wickets in there. There was something to be said of Tushar Deshpande. He gave away a lot of runs, yes, but Tushar Deshpande was someone who caught your eye. There were a few like those. I thought some of the big fast bowlers around the world didn't have great tournaments in the past. You've looked at Rabada, you've looked at Lockie Ferguson. There was no Bumrah this year. There wasn't much of Archer this year. There weren't a lot of death bowlers, and yet among all of them, one name stood out, and that was Patirana. So I'm looking at numbers for Patirana. At the death, largely, economy rate of 7.78, and I thought MS Dhoni used him magnificently. So Patirana is my death bowler. So that's my team, very happy. Right, so let's come down to 1 and 2 then. 6 candidates for me for 1 and 2. Faf du Plessis, Virat Kohli. Ruturaj Gaikwad, Devon Conway. Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal. How do you pick 2 out of 6? You might as well be a tightrope walker. That is a lot easier. Faf du Plessis, among all the overseas players, scored more runs than anybody else. Shubman Gill stood above him, but Faf, his strike rate in the power play was awesome. He hit more sixes than anybody else. Virat Kohli, as the tournament progressed, that strike rate kept going up and just looked like the Virat Kohli that we know. Conway and Ruturaj, did you know at any particular time whether Conway was scoring more than Ruturaj or Ruturaj was scoring more than Conway? No other opening pair merged into each other as well as Conway and Ruturaj Gaikwad did. But I've gone with 2 others. Shubman Gill had a season to remember. This is an incredible breakout season for Shubman Gill. Actually, if you, and I heard myself say this and others say it, if you can evoke memories of Virat Kohli of 2016, even evoke memories of that ridiculous season that I thought would never ever be matched, then you're already praising Shubman Gill to the skies. But you see all the numbers with Shubman Gill, the number of sixes that he hit, the balls per 6, he became a different player. He became a power hitter. He was hitting 8-9 sixes per innings sometimes, and he was just fantastic. So no debate there on Shubman Gill. Now the next opener. Always helps to have a left-hander. Remember, I've got Cameron Green, I've got Suryakumar Yadav, I've got Heinrich Klaasen, I've got 3 right-handers to follow. My next left-hander is down at number 6. With the new ball, sometimes one boundary, one side, you always want a left-hander. But more than anything else, I was very, very impressed with the way Yashasvi Jaiswal took on established bowlers. Butler wasn't scoring runs, and Jaiswal said, "Doesn't matter, sir." He would have said, "Sir, I will play the lead role this year." And I thought Jaiswal was fantastic. So yeah, I thought Gill and Jaiswal, not only are they in this team, I won't be surprised if in the years ahead they form a very good opening partnership for India. I'd love to hear yours. My gut feel is there won't be more than 2 or 3 differences, but that's what the fun of picking teams is.